Hello dear student, in today's lecture we are going to start ASP.NET and difference between ASP and ASP.NET. So what is an ASP? ASP, it is an active server pages. So it is a first web scripting server-side scripting language developed by Microsoft, and it is developed in a VB script language. So with this ASP you can develop server-side scripting language. You can develop dynamic websites. So successor of this ASP, it is an ASP.NET. So for this ASP.NET, we should know what is in a .NET platform. So .NET platform, it is made up of tools, programming language. So it is a framework, and it is supporting for so many programming languages, having a set of libraries. So we can use these library functions directly to run our programs, to run web applications, even for the desktop applications. So you can run develop window application as well as you can develop the web applications. Window applications, this part already you have learned in second year, and right now in this subject we are going to develop the web applications, that is in a dynamic websites. So which are different languages supported by .NET platform: C Sharp, F Sharp, Visual Basic, VB. So currently the famous language is C Sharp and even the J Sharp. So now we will learn in ASP.NET technology as in a C Sharp as in a base language, and for interacting with that we require a HTML as in a front side language, markup language. So which are the editors and supported platforms that right now we are seeing that currently the ASP.NET, it is an open source, so we can run it on different platforms just like Linux, Mac OS, Docker, and Windows. By default, Windows, as it is a product of Microsoft. Libraries such as string functions, you know that in C programming, Java programming, you have executed some functions, string functions, dates, file input output, and so many library functions has been included within this .NET platform. So as we are going to learn ASP.NET, so it will support all these languages, the libraries, and the platforms which are supported by the .NET platform. So ASP.NET, it extends the .NET. And which are the features? It is a base framework. So it is a web technology, and it is supported this .NET framework. Then it is having syntax as built-in syntax you can use for building dynamic web pages using C Sharp. Libraries are available. Authentication system, suppose you want to provide a login web form, so that is possible. You can use its authentication system. Even suppose you want to connect to external authentication systems available, for example Gmail, that is Google, Twitter, or any another, suppose Facebook. So you can interface with this existing authentication systems. Then editor extensions, that it provides code completion, then functionality. Specifically, code completion means suppose you are writing some code, then it will identify the next part of that particular code. Suppose you are writing a function, you are writing inheritance, then automatically it will give that word inherits and which class you want to inherit. So that functionality will be given in your Visual Studio. Then we will see what's the difference between ASP and ASP.NET. Now what is an ASP? ASP stands for Active Server Pages. So Active Server Pages, I just told you that it is a first server-side scripting language. One of the scripting language we learned in the last semester. Which one? That PHP. Okay, the same way it is a server-side scripting language. What is the use of server-side scripting language? It is used to develop websites, dynamic websites. So that will be get executed at which side? It will be executed at the server side. And what is the extension? Its extension is a .asp. So when you are writing the file in a ASP, that will be saved in a .asp. So its programming has been written in VB script. It is an old one, and you can see, or it is compared with the PHP for executing scripts on web server. So you can see it's a syntax This is your HTML part, and this is body, and this line is of a ASP code. So within the tag you can see percentile response dot write welcome to Geeks for Geeks. So it will print the message on the web browser as an welcome to Geeks for Geeks. So this will be an output. So this is a way that you can write down the code in ASP. Now the next version extension, that is an ASP.NET. So it is supporting ASP, the code format, and supporting the platform framework as in a .NET. So ASP.NET, it is not a language. So it is a you can say it is a framework, .NET framework, and when you save the file, that will be extension as an ASPX. It is an extension. So it is released in 2002 by Microsoft. It is a successor of ASP. So it is server-side web framework. Why it is called as a web framework? Because it is having the .NET platform framework features, and it is not just a language. So many tools, programming languages, libraries, everything is provided with this. So that's why it is a server-side web framework. The current version of ASP.NET is ASP.NET 4.8. This is the current version. So we will learn the language, or we will use a language as a C# language for writing the code that already you have learned in last year. So this is just one example has been given on geeks.com website. So this is a variable where rank is equal to 50. So it is declared over here with the @ symbol. You know that this @ symbol is used to render your values towards this web server. So if again this if rank is less than 60, then it will print this message, welcome to Geeks for Geeks. Yes, as this value is a 50 less than 60, so the output will be printed on your web page. So this is one simple example of ASP.NET. So I think you understand about what is an ASP and ASP.NET. ASP means active server pages. ASP, it is a server-side scripting language. Meanwhile ASP.NET, this is a framework, and where it is going to execute, it is at the server side. So server-side web framework. Now let's see some difference between ASP and ASP.NET. Even though ASP.NET, it is a successor of ASP, but having some differences. As an ASP, it is an interpreted language, while ASP.NET is the compiled language. Now, what do you mean by interpreted and compiled language? You learn C programming language. What is the C programming language? This is a compiled language. Means what? When you run C program, then when you compile the C program, it creates the machine language, machine code, and that will be understood by machine. So difference is that in an interpreted language, line by line execution will be done, and suppose there are the 10 lines, that the first line will be get converted, it will be get executed, then it goes to the second line, it will be get converted and then executed. So that is an interpreted language. And this one compiled language means the whole code will be taken as an input, as a source, that will be converted into a machine code, and that machine code will be passed for the execution, and then your program will be get executed. But here in a ASP case, it will execute line by line. So first line will be taken input, it will be executed, then go to the second line, then go to the third line, and so on. But here the bulk of code that will be given input for this compilation process, it will create that compiled source code, compiled output, and that compiled output will be given for the processing to this any execution part. So that is the main difference. So understand this one, ASP interpreted, ASP.NET, it is a compiled language. Now about database connectivity that we are going to learn in a section 2. ASP uses ADO, that is an ActiveX data object, and ASP.NET uses ADO.NET. for connecting to a database. So ADO.NET, it is the latest one that we can connect with the ASP.NET. Then ASP is a partially object oriented. ASP.NET, it is a fully object oriented. So some of the features are not supported by this ASP, while the ASP.NET supporting fulfill features of object-oriented programming. ASP pages have the extension as an ASP, that already I have told you that ASP, when you save the program with the ASP, then its extension is .asp, and for the ASP.NET it will be having an extension as .aspx. ASP doesn't have the concept of inheritance. See, now what is an inheritance? The one class will be get inherited by the second class. Means features of base class will be inherited to your child class. That is the concept behind the inheritance. So this is not supported by ASP, but while in ASP.NET it inherits its code behind it, or its base classes. So that's why it is called as a partially object oriented, and this one is a fully object oriented. ASP pages uses scripting language. The ASP, it is a language. It is a scripting language. ASP.NET, it is a programming language. It is not a scripting language, as it is converting that whole code into compiled code, and then it is going to execute. And here this one, it is a script. It is executing line by line, so it is following the interpretation process. Error handling is very poor in ASP, and error handling is very good in ASP.NET, that we will see in coming chapters. ASP has a maximum 4 inbuilt classes, that is a request, response, session, and application. And ASP.NET has more than 2000 built-in classes. So there are lots of classes. Built-in classes are supported by ASP.NET, and here in ASP it is having only 4 built-in classes. So as we see the difference ASP and ASP.NET, we can say that ASP.NET advanced version, and it is far better than the ASP. So I think you understand this point. So what we learn in this video, what is a .NET platform? What is a .NET? .NET, it is a platform, it is a framework. Framework means what? It is having so many tools, programming languages, and set of libraries. For what? For developing different types of applications. What type of applications? Window applications as well as your web applications. So which are the different languages supported by .NET platform? F#, C#, Visual Basic, even the J# also. So many libraries, base libraries that you know, that the string and dates, these are the base libraries. Along with that, advanced libraries are also supported by this .NET framework. Editors are available, and it is supporting different platforms, different operating systems, just like Windows, Linux, and macOS. ASP.NET, it extends .NET, and also it is a successor of ASP. So features just like framework, then it is giving the syntax, built-in syntax, it is used. Libraries are available, authentication system support, editors, advanced editors are there. Then we have seen some difference between ASP and ASP.NET. So just go through these notes and study it. In next video, we will learn about IIS, and that is what is in a web application. IIS, its history and working of this IIS. Okay, thank you.